So Michelle Obama recently did a speech at a Kamala Harris rally. And in that speech, she spoke about reproductive rights. Now, we've heard about reproductive rights over the past few weeks, past few months, like the number one, hell, probably the last couple of years, like the number one topic for anyone who's running for public office. Even down here, this Colin Allred for Texas Senate, that's one of the main things he spoke on was reproductive right of women. Now, from what I hear on a daily basis, when we talk about reproductive right, all we talk about is the deletion of little babies in the womb or even outside the womb. And that's all we hear. That's all they talk about. That's all they pushing. So I heard Michelle Obama's speech, and we're going to go ahead and cover it and do a deep dive analysis on it and ask some questions, see if we can get some answers. And I don't know if YouTube's going to demonetize this video. They just might. And if they do, then I'll just put this song going on the Patreon page also. But with that being said, I just, like I said, got answers. I need answers to some of these questions, to this question of what exactly are reproductive rights. So we're going to let Michelle Obama speak on it, and we'll get in. Like I said, we'll deep dive into it.
So let me take a minute to help folks, especially the men in our lives, to get a better sense of what could happen if we keep dismantling parts of our reproductive care system piece by piece, as Trump intends to do. I want folks to understand the chilling effect, not just on critical abortion care, but on the entirety of women's health, all of it. There are good reasons why so many women and physicians are horrified by what's happened since Donald Trump's justices overturned Roe v. Wade. We're seeing women scrambling across state lines to get the care they need. Just this week, a major medical journal reported that after Roe was overturned, infant mortality in this country rose, in large part because women are being forced to carry fetuses that won't survive to term.
So I'm confused. Infant mortality, you mean death? So what you're saying is babies are dying at a higher rate because you got rid of a program that causes babies to die at a higher rate. I I mean, you got to make it make sense to me. Hey, I'm just a man because this video is going to pretty much. I guess she's going to tell us that how men are ignorant and stupid and we don't understand women and don't care. So I'm trying to understand. So my statements and my comments may seem, I don't know, may seem kind of thrown off. So I need correction. If you can help correct me at any point of anything I got to say during the video, please do, because I'm all for education. I want to know. Give me a reason. Give me a reason by more than just saying reproductive rights, because give me more of a reason than that to to be on your side on this topic. Because me, I'm thinking reproductive rights. Shoot, you got all the rights in the world to reproduce as much as you want to. So I don't understand that. Make that make sense. So to me, it ain't reproductive rights. It's probably deproductive rights. Is the way it should be stated.
One woman spent 22 days in jail on murder charges after she miscarried in her own bathroom. We are seeing.
Now I remember that story, and that was jacked up, and that was tragic. I don't think it had anything to do with abortion. I think she just, like like you said, miscarried, and what I'm saying, and it was in the bathroom and had the baby, and the baby died. It was an accident. It was, it happened. I'm not sure. I don't recall that she was hoping to have a baby deletion. I think it's just something that just happened in the restroom.
Doctors unsure if they can treat ectopic.
Hold on. Matter of fact, forget that. Let me see. Matter of fact, let's do real time. Woman jailed. Yeah, woman jail for miscarriage. Look at that. Popped up. U.S. Let's see, Brittany Watts being arrested after miscarriage. This is in January. NBC News. Black woman charged after miscarrying in the bathroom. Shares feelings about arrest. Brittany Watts shares shocking details surrounding her miscarriage last September. I remember it was in Ohio. Was charged after having a miscarriage in the bathroom. Told that she does not want any other woman to go through what I had to go through. Spoke with CBS Mornings. First interview. Say authorities got involved after a hospital nurse who consoled Watts when she sought medical help called the police. Watts said earlier this month, grand jury decided to dismiss the charges. Say she was 21 weeks and 5 days pregnant when she noticed an uncomfortable fluid leaking from her. She said her OBGYN told Watts that her pregnancy was non-viable, according to a report to the Trumbull County Coroner's Office. Watts was then transported by ambulance to Mercy Health St. Joseph Warren Hospital in Warren, Ohio, where she waited hours for the doctor to come in or call. She said during the interview. Now that's a problem with just healthcare, period. Which it shouldn't be, whether you having a baby or whether you're going in for a common cold, just waiting. Don't know if I'm gonna tell you like this: everywhere that you go that has to do with healthcare, whether it's a hospital, clinics, nursing home, anything medical, everybody is understaffed. Everywhere. It's just part of the business, unfortunately. If you tell me you know a place that's fully staffed and everybody's 100% staffed and everybody's happy, no one is overworked or feeling drained, I would call you a flat out straight up lie, because it's impossible. It's just not possible, not probable in this day and age. It just doesn't happen. So for her, but it's even worse for her to be waiting for a doctor to come in and call. It's terrible. I remember, like I said, when my ex was pregnant with our first child, I remember she sat in waiting rooms for. I remember one time she was having contractions, and we went to the hospital. I remember it was like the Super Bowl Sunday. Daughter wasn't born till July, but this is Super Bowl Sunday, and we sitting in the lobby for a while. Then we finally get called back. Doctor see it. Then we just sitting back there. Man, she done fell asleep. Game almost over. She wake up about 30 minutes later, and no one has came back there. And we go up front, and we're like, I'm like, is anybody gonna come and talk to us? What's going on? They're like, oh, we thought you got discharged. We're like, what? We didn't even know. So we didn't know y'all was back there. Amazing. But anyway, healthcare, and that was 25, 27, 28 years ago. So healthcare has not gotten better. But yeah, it's always a wait. And sad to say this is the same, sound like the same thing happened with her, just she's waiting. So I kept asking whoever would come in to check my vitals. I said, have you heard anything? And they were like, oh, well, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. Yeah, Watts, because these doctors take on too many patients, and patients have questions. People have questions. Nobody wants a doctor, and I've seen this too many times, do rounds, come in, ask two questions, and keep moving, just moving down, getting paid their little money or whatever they get for each visit, and trying to run through these patients. Human beings deserve better. It used to be a time when you used to be able to sit down, talk to a patient, get to know them, understand their past and present problems, and come up with a diagnosis or a way or a care plan to try to help them. Now it's like they want you in and out. Doctors, nurses, techs, whatever. They want you in and out real quick. Don't ask too many questions. Move on. And they get more and more patients. So now, when a patient does have a legitimate question, which most of us do at any time, that prolongs that doctor or that healthcare professional to seeing the next person. So imagine if your appointment is at 1 o'clock, but he's still seeing his 12 o'clock appointment, and he had a 12 o'clock or 12:15, 12:30, and 12:45 appointment. There's not enough healthcare professionals out here, and insurance plays a big part in it too, but it needs to be revamped in this country. She said, I said, no, keep going. Watts wait at least 8 hours. Now that's ridiculous. If you waiting 8 hours, your butt should have went to another hospital. Sound like the old Parkland back in the day. Watts wait at least 8 hours So undoubtedly, she was probably in a low income area because they treat us like garbage in the hood, in these hospitals in the hood. Watch wait at least 8 hours before deciding to leave the hospital against medical advice, according to medical records. I mean, exactly. I mean, you sitting there all this time. And my granddaddy died of prostate cancer because he went to the VA. They took forever to see him. So he said, "Man, hell with this, I'm leaving." He left and then kind of find he had prostate cancer and he died not too long after that. But again, the healthcare system is broken. That's what you need to run on, not just the reproductive rights, but just the healthcare system as a whole. The hospital report also states that Watts understood her risk of complications, including hemorrhaging, sepsis, or death. Where was she at? I'm trying to think. It says she waited for hours. Trying to say, was she in the waiting room or in the ER, or was she in the room? Uh, Watts returned to the hospital the next day to get a labor induction. She waited for 11 hours, she said, but was never induced and opted to go home. I felt frustrated. Watts said, I felt ignored. Watts' case was referred to Mercy Health Ethics Committee that day after staff reported concerns with Watts using the word abortion when discussing the next steps in her care. Well, she was told that her pregnancy was what? Unviable. So the baby was pretty much gonna die. In Ohio, abortions after 22 weeks into a pregnancy are banned with exceptions to life-saving care, according to the state's law. In a statement to NBC News, Mercy Health declined to give specifics about Watts care, citing patient privacy. It is with the deepest empathy during difficult times that we care for those who have suffered great loss. I said she worried about her own health. She miscarried 2 days after leaving the hospital for a second time. Man, look, if you're this woman waiting 8 hours and then waiting 11 hours and not even getting seen, not being admitted, because if you coming in and leaving, undoubtedly she didn't get admitted. So she's probably in the waiting room waiting, or the ER or whatever you want to call it, and not getting seen for however many hours. That's a life and death situation. I'm sorry. If women come in like that, then that's a problem where it ain't got nothing to do with abortion or anything like that. Again, the healthcare system needs to be revamped. Period. Third, let's see, she'll ride a third time. Watch nurse reassure that everything's going to be okay. Meanwhile, that nurse whom the hospital did not identify called the police. Watch said in a call with 911 dispatcher shared by CBS News, the nurse said that Watts did not want to look at the fetus. She also let Watts did not want the baby, and she didn't look. Of course, because she probably emotionally distraught. Man, I know people who have lost the child during childbirth or toward the end of the pregnancy, come to find out the baby will not survive or didn't survive. And man, as a man, I don't know how a woman feels in that instance, but I know at least two who have went through that, and I know one who went through it years ago and still suffering from it. As a matter of fact, I know two that probably went through it years ago, and so and I said the one because one has been like been going through it for years and years, and it's like you would know most people say, "Hey, you got to get over it." Nah, you can't tell somebody when to get over it. But a lot of time people need some kind of help, some kind of mental, psychological help to help not get over it, but get through it. And when it's not available, you can't dictate or you can't tell somebody how to react to situations. And like I said, whole healthcare system, period, needs to be revamped. I said I didn't want to look, and I know, yeah, they just don't want, yeah. I have never said I didn't want my baby. I would never say something like that. It just makes me angry that somebody would put those type of words in my mouth and make me seem so callous and so hateful. Police arrested her days later on charges of abuse of a corpse under the state law to punish those who treat a human corpse in a way that that the person would outrage reasonable family sensibility. Really? So basically, you telling this woman how to feel. I haven't even read this whole story. My gosh. I'm trying to tell a woman how to react and how to feel at the loss of something that's been growing in her for all these months and something that she wanted. I don't get it. The fifth degree felony charge punishable by up to 1 year in prison and a fine of up to $2,500. Grand jury will not be indicted. Why does it not violate the Ohio criminal statute? Why says she believes her race played a role in why she was charged. I believe race played a role in how you was treated from the jump. Again, revamp the whole medical system. Start with the core of the problem. It says she okay, so that's pretty much it for that. So let's go back to Kamala Harris, not Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama. Let's go back to her speech.
pregnancies. Doctors being
Oh, so it goes back to my point. She brought up that woman's story as if this woman was trying to have a baby deletion or abortion, which she was after she found out she was having problems with it. Understood. Understood. But she didn't get the health care she needed. The healthcare system is jacked up. Again, let's talk about, let's get to the root of the problem, which is what she's talking about, right?
being told they can't treat a woman until she becomes so close to death that only a life of the mother exception will allow them to act. So just imagine the profound effects for all of us if Donald Trump wins this election.
So let's go back to that woman's story in Ohio. I got questions because one thing I didn't see is, did she go to all her prenatal appointments? Was this something that she was told ahead of time that could happen? Was she told that she was a high risk pregnancy? These are questions that I have. I'm a man. I've had children. I've had, like I say, women who have issues. I've seen women with issues during pregnancy told about their conditions or things that could happen. People in my family, same thing. I pay attention to this and I'm concerned and want the best for these women when they get to the hospital or get to their doctor's appointment. But again, did she go to her doctor's appointment like she was supposed to? If she was told that she was a high risk pregnancy, did she not rest? Could she not rest? Was she a single mother? If she's a single parent, where is the father at? Is he making enough money to take care of he or she making enough money to take care of her and the child while this woman sits back, while this woman is going through all this? It's a lot of questions that need to be answered. It goes beyond just saying reproductive rights, because we're talking about the accountability for everybody. So I know you got HIPAA violations, but I got questions that need answering.
In states that are already putting abortion bans into effect, his FDA could further outlaw patchwork systems of telehealth appointments and mail order pills, thereby eliminating the last remaining protections for women in those states.
Shoot, I went to the clinic the other, well, not a clinic, good Lord, CVS clinic the other day real quick because of a cough I had. And shoot, well, I'm saying where was this place at? This was was this Cedar Hill? Cedar Hill. Yeah, in Cedar Hill were a bunch of black people sitting down sitting down in the chair waiting on the nurse practitioner to take a look at me. And I look to my right, and what do I see? I see Plan B pills, a whole freaking display of Plan B pills. Amazing. Amazing where you see this at. Where the CVS where I live at, I ain't seen not one. Not one sitting on the end cap display. Again, when you sit down at this, what's it called? Minute Clinic in CVS, and you look out into the store, you can't help the first thing you see is a Plan B pill. But like I say, where I live, the CVS, we don't have a Minute Clinic out here where I live. And I ain't seen a Plan B pill on an end cap. I ain't seen one, period, especially on an end cap. End cap costs money. And people they will love to have their products on the end cap because you can't help but see them because they stand out by themselves.
We could take actions that effectively ban abortion nationwide, which would put all of us in danger, no matter what state we live in. We will see more doctors hesitating or shying away from providing life-saving treatments because they are worried about being arrested. More medical students reconsidering even pursuing women's health at all. More OB/GYN clinics without enough doctors to meet demand, closing their doors. leaving untold numbers of women in communities throughout this country without a place to go for basic gynecological care.
And again, that's a healthcare issue, not a reproductive rights issue, because you're missing a whole lot of details when you just try to keep it just at that. There's already a shortage of doctors, OB doctors, a shortage of women OB doctors. I could tell you another story about, like, say, my oldest, when her mother was pregnant with her, and I remember she had an issue, and I don't want to, I mean, let me just say this: she had a man doctor, she was going through issues, and he just seemed to like push it off. Now, again, Canterbury Village, if those in Dallas know what I'm talking about, right in the heart of Oak Cliff, Redbird area. We was young. We didn't have much money. We didn't have much. She was on like Medicaid food. We was on she had Medicaid food stamps, all that stuff. Right. Go see a doctor, and the doctor treated us like we was garbage. Now, if I go back, next time I go back and redo it, like I would have waited till I was 30 to have kids. I would have been more financially secure before I had children. My children would be younger. Man, oh, so I know there are women who will say that you say, hey, would you do things your life over again? Would you do things different? They say, no, because I don't regret what I did and what I went through. And I say, yeah, I would have done things differently. My kids would be the first thing I would have done differently. And the first thing women say, oh my God, you say your kids are a mistake? No, my kids was not a mistake. When I had them was probably the mistake. If I could do it all over again and been intelligent about it, I would have did it. I would have did it completely scripturally, got married. Uh, we would have been together for maybe a few years, went to school, got our jobs, careers on track, and then we would have started a family. But the family was going to always be the number one thing. That's the things you talk about when you're dating and getting serious with somebody. Do you want to have a family? Yes, when you want to do it. I personally would have been 30 years old before I had my first child, which might have kind of changed who I would have had the children with. But I mean, because I mean, like I say, 30 older, anyway, but still, because years would have passed, maybe who knows, probably would have grown stronger, probably would have grown apart. But again, my point would have been, I would have been like 30 before I had my daughters. Let me say that, because I tell them all the time, hey, if I could have done things differently, right now, instead of being like 7 years apart, how am I 30? I mean, if I started when I was 30, then my oldest daughter would probably be 17 right now, and my youngest daughter would have been 16 or 15 right now. That's what I would have did differently. But you got some people getting their feelings and acting like, oh, you trying to chastise and judge them. No, I mean, we all did the same thing. We all been screwing in high school and stuff. And, you know what I'm saying, been scared that our girlfriend was pregnant or whatever the case may be. Yeah, we all been through that mess. You know what I'm saying? Not glorifying it, but hey, those are the mistakes that we made. And some of us messed around and did have kids at a young age. Some of us got lucky or blessed and didn't have them at a very young age, was too young. But a lot of us had them and was able to take care of these kids and to raise these kids and to grow ourselves and try to take a situation that we created and try to make it better for them and the mother. So just got your feelings on that. Let's continue. Good Lord, Michelle.
Which in turn will leave millions of us at risk of undiagnosed medical issues like cervical and uterine cancers.
That has nothing to do with reproductive rights or baby deletion. That's about the healthcare system. Let me keep going because I'll stop every 30 seconds.
This is real. So do you think Donald Trump is
Why is she sniffing? Is she got a cold or is she trying to cry?
thinking about the consequences for the millions of women who will be living in medical deserts? Does anyone think he has the emotional maturity and foresight to come up with a plan to protect us? Yo, we are teetering on the edge. Even before these state bans, America was already lagging behind every other wealthy nation on measures like maternal mortality and paid leave. So we could be right back to the days before Roe, which many young people here don't even remember.
About that paid leave, again, I'm not really sure. I don't really understand like everybody else's situation. I remember when my mother was like had my sister. I know she took a lot of time off, like months off probably, but she was in a career where she was a nurse. And my dad had a career, he worked for the city. So it could be done. Uh I know one thing that then you fast forward to like I said, when we had our first child, me and my ex had our first child, I think she went back too soon 'cause I think she was afraid she was gonna lose her job. Which I'm sitting here trying to say, you going back too quick while you're doing it. And like I said, we're young, don't understand how the system works. But this is why we teach. This is why we teach the youth what we went through and how not to go through that. And the rights that you have and how you vote for certain rights and how you demand and create certain rights stuff for your own to make sure that when things are not geared towards you, you ain't got to worry about it because you can take care of your own self.
The days when abortion wasn't as safe as it is today, the days when the number of mothers of color dying in childbirth was 30 to 40% higher than when it was under Roe.
Yeah, it's still high now, but it's been like that for Black women. The mortality rate during pregnancy is always been for some reason been higher. But again, that's because of how they treat our women, man. How they treat us as a people in the healthcare field.
So to the men who love us, let me just try to paint a picture of what it will feel like if America, the wealthiest nation on earth, keeps revoking basic care from its women, and how it will affect every single woman in your life. Your girlfriend could be the one in legal jeopardy if she needs a pill from out of state or overseas, or if she has to travel across state lines because the local clinic closed up. Your
So basically, what she's doing is condoning this premarital relations, these relations we have for her to, which caused her to get pregnant because she just didn't wake up. The girlfriend just didn't wake up and got pregnant. And what I'm doing, and I ain't trying to judge nobody. Yes, I am. Not really, but because I say I ain't been perfect or done everything as the Bible says when it comes to situations like this. You know what I'm saying? You had sexual relations with people and not being married to them. Understand that. You know, I get that. So, but all I'm saying is back getting older and looking at this, you know what I'm saying, looking at the choices I made in the past, I can I can look at it from a different lens because I can see it from both sides. So okay, you are saying that the girlfriend mess around and now you're talking about straight abortion now. So you're not talking about again the healthcare industry and how jacked up it is. Let me finish.
wife or mother could be the ones at higher risk of dying from undiagnosed cervical cancer because they have no access to regular gynecological care.
Now that's different. That's what I'm talking about. That is different than the whole reproductive rights, what I want to do, what I want to do with my body. See, the whole campaign is the rights to what I choose to do with my body. You're talking about the difference between a choice and a necessity. A necessity is if something is going on with the pregnancy and I have to make a choice between living and dying or or the baby living or dying. That's like a necessity. So a life is like in a balance. But when you're talking about a choice of, oh, do I want to have these relations and mess around and get pregnant? Do I not want to take a pill? Or sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes you can't. I get that. Sometimes you can't take pills because they do have a reaction to you, which I don't condone really taking pills because that is, like I said, that jacks up all your body. But you got little devices you can implant or do things to where, because y'all are quick to tell a dude to get a vasectomy, but no ways to not get pregnant. Condoms, no ways to not get pregnant and stuff like that. But it's a choice between both of y'all when you do that, between a man and a woman. But like I said, those are choices. That is not a necessity. It's not necessary to have sex without contraceptives, some form of contraceptive, some form of protection. That is not a necessity. That is a choice that you choose to make. But again, it's like she's putting together two things that don't go together.
Your daughter could be the one too terrified to call the doctor if she's bleeding during an unexpected pregnancy. Your niece could be the one miscarrying in her bathtub after the hospital turned her away. And this will not just affect women.
I haven't seen a hospital turn somebody away because they bleeding. Like now, you might sit in the waiting room for 11 hours, 12 hours, which again needs to be revisited. But man,
It will affect you and your sons. The devastating consequences of teen pregnancy won't just be borne by young girls, but also by the young men who are the fathers. They too will have their dreams of going to college, their entire future.
hold on. I want y'all to hear what she's saying because this is. And tell me if you're hearing what I'm hearing too.
Teen pregnancy won't just be borne by young girls, but also by the young men who are the fathers. They too will have their dreams of going to college. Their entire future is totally upended by an unwanted pregnancy.
So basically, Michelle Obama just condoned the abortion choice. That young kids out here, we out here, clapping cakes, and the girlfriend gets pregnant. And the baby's unwanted because the boy is saying, I'm trying to go to college. I'm trying to, do this. It's going to ruin my life if we have this child. So the girl can say, okay, well, let me just go delete it right quick. Woo, thank you. Did she just condone that right before our eyes? Why is this not being said in the public media?
If you and your partner are expecting a child, you will be right by her side at the checkups, terrified if her blood pressure is too high.
Man, shut up. Look at her. I'm not going to, let me see.
Or if there's an issue with the placenta, or if the ultrasound shows that the embryo was implanted in the wrong place, and the doctors aren't sure that they can intervene to keep the woman you love safe. If your wife is shivering and bleeding on the operating room table during a routine, the one praying that it's not too late, real possibility that in the worst case scenario, you just might be the one holding flowers at the. But in many cases, there is no warning and things go bad. To take our lives seriously, please, clue, or do not care about what we as women are going through.
I'm going to put the link to this video in the description box. Here's what I want to say. And I speak on personal experience. When the mother of my children was, when we was back in the day, we was young and married too. I mean, first we weren't, then we ended up getting married, whatever. But she made sure that she went to all her doctor's appointments. Okay, when you get pregnant, and no matter what kind of insurance you're on, whether it's public funded or you funding it yourself, there's a protocol that you go through, and they tell you women to go to your checkups every couple of months, then every month, then every 2 weeks, something like that. I don't know the exact many times you're supposed to go, but you have checkups scheduled for intervals throughout your pregnancy. It behooves the woman to go to all these doctor's appointments, whether the father or the husband, the father of the children, or your husband, whatever, boyfriend, can go, whether he can or can't go. It has nothing to do with you going to now, these are things that you understand that you have to deal with as a woman, is that, hey, you gotta check. Even if you wasn't pregnant, you got to go to your annual exams. Hell, I'm a man who just now just now scheduled my first like annual, and I'm gonna start doing it every year this year. Like, I mean, it just been putting it off, but finally doing it. No one else can make me do it. No one else is gonna tend to me or care about my body more than me. It's just that simple. And I tell my kids the same thing. No one's going to care about you more than you. So you need to take care of yourself. Women, when you get pregnant, I'm just saying, as a woman and as an adult or whatever, you have to make sure you make it to your appointments. Now, if you got a pregnancy and you're trying to hide it from people, then that's a totally different story. We not talking about that. But regardless, you need to go to your appointment so you and your child can get checked up. That's why it's preventative care. After the fact, post preventative care, if you want to call it that. Uh, like I say, my kid's mother made sure she went to all of her appointments. Even if she had to, if something wasn't right, she would schedule maybe an extra appointment and go in and see her doctor. This is what these are the things you have to do. Just these are the basics. That's the minimal you should do. Once if they put you on the medications, saying they tell you that your blood pressure is high, you got gestational diabetes or hypertension. They put you on some medications or tell you to change your diet or to change to do certain exercises or, don't can't work in this environment. You can do this. You got to be on light duty. This, that, and the third. They'll tell you. I mean, they're gonna tell you what you need to do. You can't get, I mean, you can get upset and say, oh, you can say, well, I gotta work, or I can't stop. I gotta do this. But then you have to make a choice. And dealing with a life, whether it's yours or your child, some choices you can't guess. You can't hope and pray that maybe you can't work. You can't live off of maybes when it comes to y'all lives. So you got to be smart about the whole situation. Which again, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna end this video because I've been on here long enough, and I'm not. I didn't even get halfway through the video, and I hit a whole lot of points. And I may take it back up. I may take the second part back up some other time, but probably not. One, take care of yourself as humans. Number one, eat right, exercise, be mobile, try to reduce the stress. And when I say eat right, that means, fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, stuff like that. Exercise, get more motion, relieve the stress, go to school, get educated so you can try to increase your income. Don't get pregnant. Don't get pregnant, you know, I would say without being married. I'll say without being married, but I mean, if you're with a guy, if the guy, I mean, the man you with. So if you know he can't be there 24 with you all the time, not gonna be there. If you know he's gonna be a deadbeat because maybe he got 5 or 6 other baby mamas and kids he not taking care of, don't be baby mama number 7 or 8. Just be smart about it. Take care of your body, adjust your lifestyle to where you do what you need to do, and you can live a happy, healthy life. As for the American system, we don't need to be voting on reproductive rights. What we need to be doing is voting and figuring out how to correct the healthcare system as a whole. Because because once you do that, everything else falls into place. Then you don't have to sit in the waiting room 8 hours and you think you losing your baby, or you done broke a bone, or you think you done had a stroke or a heart attack or anything else like that, and you sit in the waiting room for 8 hours. You see what I'm saying? It's not just what she's talking about, but like I say, she's trying to put in two things together to me that don't match. You're talking about abortion and you're talking about the healthcare system of the choice of abortion because you don't want to mess up your career, your potential career, compared to having to choose between your life and your baby's life because of some complications. That's a different. And even Donald Trump says he understands those complications and he knows that's different than just going out there and just deleting babies just because of an inconvenience. It's two separate things. So let's not get it twisted. But anyway, that's all I got for this story. Tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and share it with the world. Again, I have questions. Like I said, so you heard my take on it and how I felt and what I've been through, my whole, my personal journey of experiences. So now tell me yours. Tell me where I'm wrong or the point I'm missing in this whole topic. Help me understand it better from a male's perspective. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have intelligent conversation. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you want to support monetarily, you can give super thanks, super chats, or go to the description box. Click on the links there below for ways you can support. Don't forget to go to marlonmorales.com. That's marlonmorales.com. Get 10% off your first purchase, or you can hit the shop button below this video. Well, right now we have a sale on our miniature beard kits, and we may have a sale we may add sales, you know what I'm saying, over time. But a miniature beard kit, sandalwood scented, which is clinically proven to stimulate hair follicle growth. So this is the best product that you can buy to get that beard growing or to get them patches filled in. Start here. Got the beard balm, beard oil, beard wash, all sandalwood. Like I said, to help you get that beard growing. Check it out again in the shop. Hit the shop button below. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.